Hey Joe, what are you are you doing a hero intro again?
No, no, no. No, it's not Hero. This is stuff for the new TCG archetype. It's the new
Oh,
exclusives. It's
uh-huh.
it's gonna be
Okay.
great.
Then what's that? Is that a law dictionary? You gonna make a dark law joke?
No, I mean this could be anything.
And
It
is
could.
that's what? A stupid liquid man joke?
No, I mean water is universal.
Oh,
It could. I could really be making fun of
come
anything.
on. A duster?
All right, we're doing Hero.
Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, back again with another episode of 10-Minute Testing. Ah, can you see that? Look, up in the sky! It's the SEO signal, calling me to make another hero video. Well, with LED 6 on the horizon and Liquid Man dripping down the pipe, I think the time is ripe for me to don the mask and play some big purple men. And this time, I'll actually bother to learn the combos. So here's the list, and can I really advocate for an $800 Tier 3 deck? Yes, I can. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is a one-stop shop for deck building, deck uploading, card searching, and strategy articles, some of which are written by yours truly. I'm proud to represent them, and I encourage any player interested in deck building to check out their website at www.YGOProDeck.com. Anyway, back to Boku no Hero. Vision Destiny Elemental Extra Hero is a deck that upsets me. The evil heroes made it in, but still no Neospatian love? Come on now. These GXian Gunguses, long a playground joke targeted at Jaden roleplayers, have been sneaking tops for the better part of a format. A suite of incredibly powerful new cards like Fusion Destiny, Ferris, and Cross Crusader, unbanned fan favorites like Stratos the Slur Magnet and Malicious, and powerful payoffs like Darklaw, Plasma, and Bane have made this deck an exceptionally big threat. For you. With an adaptable game plan and no clear choke point, it's an archetype perfectly poised for meta if the top 4 are banned out, tomorrow. The two new cards, while important for the deck's ability to consistently find Darklaw setups and flex polymerization, aren't nearly as game-changing as reaction YouTubers would have you believe. Liquid Lad, the gooier version of Solid Soldier, specials a hero from your graveyard, which almost always means exclusively Best Girl Shadow Mist. Sunriser's the much more exciting of the pair, and between you and me, the less competitive. This miraculous hero is a Miracle Fusion Searcher, meaning it's time for the Zero to Hero to come back to builds. Additionally, Sunriser will smooth out opens that otherwise relied on the laughably offable Vision Hero Adoration, and the Ab Crusher will raise the ceiling of the deck enough to mangle the meta. So with that, let's get into the card by card. Firstly are the Visionaries, 3 Ferris, 2 Increase, and 2 Vion because I fear God. Next are the Elementals, 3 Stratos, 2 Shadow Mist, 1 Honest, 1 Liquid, and 1 Solid. The elements part of their name is finally relevant. Finally, the least fair part of the deck, 3 Malicious, a Celestial, a Dynatag, and a Plasma. After that is the single evil hero, a Duster, and 3 Ash Blossom. For spells, we're on 3 Fusion Destiny, 3 Mask Change, 2 E Emergency Call, and 1 of Miracle Fusion, Dark Calling, Polymerization, and a Hero Lives. Finally, we're on 3 Called by the Grave. In the extra, we're on E-Heroes Sunriser and Ab-Zero, Evil Hero Bane, Destiny Hero Dystopia, Masked Heroes Darklaw, Anki, Dian, and Blast, mostly to dodge hand traps, Vision Heroes Trinity and Adoration, and Extra Heroes Dread Decimator, Wonder Driver, and Cross Crusader. So with that, let's jump into the games. Our first match is up against... well, I'll just spoil it now. It doesn't matter what we're up against because our opponent is going to concede before their first turn. Rather than showcase this deck's stellar 60-card Cyburst matchup, we're instead going to showcase some of the bread and butter combos and just what Liquid Man can do during the setup turns. We're going to lead with a copy of a Hero Lives, special summoning a copy of Stratos from deck. We'll use Stratos' effect to get a copy of Ferris to hand. This is the most critical card for any of the combos. We'll activate Ferris' effect to get a copy of Increase, which we will special summoning a Vion from deck afterwards. We'll use Vion's effect to bin a Shadow Mist, but not use its effect. We'll then special a Malicious from graveyard before going into Cross Crusader, reborning the Malicious, and activating the second effect to get a Destiny Hero to hand. We'll normal summon a Liquid Man to get Shadow Mist and trigger the effect, adding a Mask Change to hand before link summoning a copy of Wonder Driver and changing under the link point. That resets Mask Change for a second Darklaw before we go into Dread Decimator, bring back a Malicious, and then fire off this Polymerization for a Dystopia. That's enough for our opponent to concede. Well, that's probably enough of the YGOPro Percy meta for one day. Remember, we're aiming to beat real people with this deck list, not Redditors. Our second round opponent is on Orchist, and this is a matchup in which our ability to find Darklaw early and often is going to be critical. Let's see how quickly we can make that happen. We'll activate Ferris's effect, setting a copy of Increase, then special summoning the Increase and running face first into an Ash Blossom. Well, we have a Vion in hand, so we'll send a copy of Malicious to graveyard, then activate Vion's effect for polymerization. We'll use Malicious's graveyard effect before link summoning a copy of Cross Crusader and specialing Malicious back, tributing it for a next turn play. We'll then special another Malicious and go into a Wonder Driver, refusing to commit to a big Dystopia play. We'll go into Darklaw with a set copy of Mask Change and dare our opponent to play under macro. They're first going to lead with a copy of Danger Nessie. They hit it, but we do get to banish this copy of Armageddon Knight, and afterwards the Mathematician from hand. We just have to hit what they get off the Rhoda since that Phantasme isn't doing anything, but unfortunately for us, we pick the Phant. Well, we still might be able to do it. They'll flip a Monster Reborn and then link summon a copy of Cerberus that's going to get the masked hero Darklaw off our side of the field, but not protect them for next turn. We're going to normal summon a copy of Stratos and then activate its effect to get a copy of Shadow Mist. We're then going to go into Adoration and trigger Shadow Mist's graveyard effect, adding a copy of Aduster Gold to hand and triggering the effect of Wonder Driver. We'll Adoration so that monster's attack go to 0 and then activate Dark Calling for Malicious Bane. We'll go to the battle phase, get in for 3,000, 1,900, and well over lethal. So it's time for Game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's playing Salamangreat, which thankfully we can interact with very productively. With both Darklaw and Plasma, we should be able to shut down all the effects our opponent aims to activate. We'll lead with a copy of Stratos, of course, adding a copy of Ferris to hand. Then we'll activate the effect of Ferris, discarding this copy of Celestial in order to put an Increase under him. We'll activate Increase's effect to special summon a copy of Vion, then use Vion's effect, sending a Malicious to the graveyard before adding a Poly to hand and making Cross Crusader. We're going to bring back Malicious, then activate Cross Crusader's effect to get a copy of Dynatag, before going into another Malicious and polymerizing for a Dystopia. We deal 1,600 points of damage to our opponent's life points, and that's time in the round. We'll special the third Malicious, and then tribute them all for Plasma, setting a copy of Mask Change in case it's threatened. Our opponent's going to lead with a copy of Flame Buffalo, going into a Balinx. They'll draw a couple of cards and special Gazelle for no effect. Afterwards, they'll Will of the Salamangreat the Gazelle back, and then use Foxy's effect so they can overlay for Mirage Stalio. Next, they'll go into Heat Leo, targeting our set spell and our copy of Plasma. Well, that is just in time for the Mask Change. We'll go into a Darklaw, then they will go into a second Heat Leo, reincarnationing in order to get over our masked hero Darklaw, which will trigger the Increase in graveyard and allow us to pop off next turn. At end step, we'll activate Dystopia, and they elect not to banish this copy of Balinx, preserving their Will of the Salamangreat should they survive. Thankfully, I don't think they're likely to. Even though we've drawn dead, we can activate Increase's effect, eat a Veiler, and from this position should be able to win. We'll go into a Cross Crusader, special summon back this Dystopia, activate the Burn effect again, and then fire off this Honesty Neos, going to the battle phase after activating the Grave effect of Celestial to draw a couple of cards to deal lethal. So it's time for Game 2, and good God! Well, I think we've lost. 3 of a kind beats anything in our opener. Our opponent's going first. They're going to lead with a normal summoned copy of Salamangreat Spinny, which will make a Balinx and add a copy of Sanctuary to hand. Afterwards, they will activate the Grave effect of Spinny. Next, they're going to Foolish Burial to send a copy of Jack Jaguar to the graveyard, bringing it back at a link point to go into another Balinx, adding the Jack Jaguar to hand, and ending on a reincarnation summoned Sunlight Wolf. For turn, we draw a copy of Dark Calling. Pretty dead here. We should be able to OTK from this position. Let's see if we can screw it up. We're going to activate Increase's effect, walking into an Ash Blossom, but unfortunately for our opponent, we have a Fusion Destiny. We'll Dystopia for 1,600 points of damage before making Cross Crusader. We'll activate Cross Crusader's effect to bring back Dystopia, then Malicious's effect to bring Malicious Cross Crusaders in order to add a copy of Honest Neos to hand, and Malicious's to go into a Malicious. There's a better way to do this attack, I think, but I didn't figure it out. We'll attack, activate Honesty Neos, attack directly for 16, unfortunately 300 under lethal, giving our opponent exactly 1 turn to figure out a way to beat us. Thankfully, they haven't drawn anything proactive. They're going to go into another Balinx, reincarnation summon the Balinx, bring back the Jack Jaguar at link point, and make a Sunlight Wolf before setting 1 card and passing it back to us. I will go for the set card. They chain it in response, and thankfully 1 attack step should be enough to close this one up. We'll go to battle phase and win the game. So we're back with the deck, and finally, the forces of good have emerged victorious. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1, it's consistent. I regrettably submit this for the It's Consistent supercut, but it turns out the deck with 18 search effects has a pretty easy time finding Ferris. 2, it's adaptable. Almost every hand makes Dystopia, but you can easily pivot between Darklaw, Plasma, and Bane, depending on the matchup and if you're going first. And 3, it's powerful. The end goal is Macrocosmos, board wipes, and skill drains. I mean, why wouldn't you want to play a deck with access to all of these? And the cons. 1, it's got a huge weakness to Nibiru. There's basically no reasonable way to play around it besides prayer. 2, its blowouts, Bane and Absolute Zero, are reliant on destruction. I don't know if you know this, but there's these 2 cards in the format, Balinx and Dingirsu, that complicate things. And 3, it's expensive. It feels miserable to play a deck that's tier 2 at best and pay $2,000 for the privilege to do so. All in all, Hero is in its best form yet, and these 2 new cards, while not game-changing, are part of a cohesive whole that might finally be playable. So that's that. Thanks to my patrons, Tyler Slacks, Sir Tachyon, Miko Reichman, Crispy, Distrin, Picnic Blasted, Lucas Geardis, Adam Trevino, Second, Fighting Fang Wong, Pro Yugi Dad, Meatmoto27, BurritoMan93, Adrian Bra, Adam Sundquist, Isaac Jackson, Donnie Fillerup, Kobe Fisher, and others. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing, and if you want to be part of the process, consider following me on Twitch as well. See you next time!